DEFCON 5. DEFCON 5 is the standard state of US military readiness. It reflects global stability and ongoing peacetime operations. There are no active threats of large-scale attack, and the armed forces focus on scheduled training, equipment maintenance, and long-term strategic planning. Units across all services operate on pre-approved timetables. Carrier strike groups may be on calendar-based deployments. Army brigades might conduct NATO exercises set months in advance. Intelligence collection remains broad spectrum. No specific targets, no regional prioritization. Nuclear assets stay in secured, non-alert configurations. There's no heightened surveillance. Satellite tasking, SIGINT processing, and radar coverage all follow routine cycles. Command systems remain in standard, low-urgency posture. Rapid deployment units are available, but not on standby. Stakeholders at DEFCON 5 include the Joint Chiefs of Staff, combatant commands, and agencies like DIA and NSA, focused on predictive modelling, alliance readiness, and threat prevention over long horizons. Historically, DEFCON 5 has applied across most of the 1990s and early 2000s. During this period, the US military maintained presence worldwide without triggering elevated alert levels. DEFCON 5 is not inactivity, it's sustained vigilance at peace. DEFCON 4. DEFCON 4 signals increased military awareness without active combat preparation. It reflects rising geopolitical tension, often triggered by instability in nuclear-armed regions or unusual force movements. At DEFCON 4, intelligence collection accelerates. Satellites are retasked for priority zones. Signals intelligence, radio, cyber, radar intercepts, is processed with higher urgency. Surveillance aircraft like AWACS expand coverage. Command centres begin 24/7 fusion of real-time data. Security is heightened at sensitive sites. Embassies tighten access. Missile fields, naval ports, and nuclear storage areas implement layered perimeter controls. Some units rehearse deployment timelines. DEFCON 4 may apply to specific theatres. For instance, after the 1976 axe murder incident, US forces in Korea elevated to DEFCON 4 to deter North Korean aggression. Stakeholders include combatant commands, NORAD, Joint Intelligence Centres, and agencies like NSA and CIA. They funnel intelligence directly to the Joint Chiefs of Staff and National Security Council, enabling rapid escalation decisions if threats evolve. DEFCON 4 is not a warning shot. It's the silent restructuring of readiness beneath the surface. If you found DEFCON 5 and DEFCON 4 insightful so far, it only gets more intense from here. DEFCON 3 to DEFCON 1 takes us into real nuclear alert scenarios, fast mobilizations, missile readiness, and near-war conditions. These kinds of clear, no-nonsense explainers are always dropping here at Crisis Logs. Subscribe B4. It's classified. Like, share, and subscribe to stay ready. DEFCON 3. DEFCON 3 marks a major shift in posture. It signals that armed conflict is a real possibility, requiring immediate acceleration of response timelines and elevated readiness across active forces. At DEFCON 3, rapid deployment units move to standby. Air Force Global Strike Command must prepare to launch strategic bombers within 15 minutes. Command centres enter full staffing, and emergency communication protocols are activated across STRATCOM, NORAD, and regional commands. Naval and air assets may reposition closer to conflict zones. Nuclear systems remain in reserve, but crews are locked into alert rotations. Intelligence processing intensifies, and force protection levels increase worldwide. A major historical example, during the 1973 Yom Kippur War, when the Soviet Union threatened to intervene against Israel, President Nixon ordered a global elevation to DEFCON 3. It was a strategic signal to deter Soviet escalation. Key stakeholders include the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Unified Combatant Commands, and National Command Authority. DEFCON 3 is the last level before nuclear protocols begin to activate. It's readiness with the brakes off. DEFCON 2. DEFCON 2 signals that major conflict is imminent. At this level, the US military prepares for war within hours. Strategic nuclear forces are placed on hair-trigger alert, and the nation edges one step from full-scale launch. Strategic Air Command deploys nuclear bombers to airborne holding patterns. ICBM crews move into launch-ready status, operating under strict two-person control procedures. Submarines equipped with ballistic missiles maintain deep-sea patrols in total radio silence. Communications shift to hardened channels. The President and National Command Authority may relocate to secure facilities. STRATCOM, US Cybercom, and Homeland Defense run real-time threat simulations to coordinate nuclear response options. The only confirmed DEFCON 2 event was the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. When Soviet missiles were discovered in Cuba, Strategic Air Command entered DEFCON 2, ready to strike with global nuclear force within 6 hours. Key stakeholders include STRATCOM, Air Force Global Strike Command, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. DEFCON 2 is not a bluff, it's controlled ignition. Once this level is reached, every move counts. DEFCON 1. DEFCON 1 represents total military readiness. It confirms that a strategic attack, often nuclear, against the United States or its allies is either underway or seconds from impact. At DEFCON 1, pre-authorized nuclear protocols are executed. Bombers are already airborne. Ballistic missile submarines are in launch position. Land-based ICBM crews receive final unlock codes. Launch authority may be delegated if national leadership is compromised. Command and control shifts to hardened systems. The National Military Command Centre operates in direct link with STRATCOM, NORAD, and global commands. Communications become point-to-point, survivable, and fail deadly, ensuring retaliation even if US command is destroyed. DEFCON 1 has never been declared in US history. A plausible trigger, early warning satellites detect a mass ICBM launch from an adversary, confirmed by ground radar. Upon authentication, DEFCON 1 is initiated, and nuclear response plans begin immediately. Stakeholders include STRATCOM, the President, DoD nuclear control centres, and elite response units operating under pre-assigned targets and timelines. DEFCON 1 isn't a readiness state, it's the moment after deterrence fails, when war is no longer a risk, but a reality.